for joining us. Today we are talking with Sara, who can entertain party guests by reciting Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. She doesn't have a nickname, but wishes she did, and her favorite job was counting tadpoles. She collects metal spoons from the side of the road. In fact, she has over 400. Her traveling superpower is that she's not a picky eater. She says the best part of her recent tour was the ice cream and a fish. So today she's going to tell us about her journey following the beautiful monarch butterflies. So thank you so much for joining us, Sara.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Welcome, Sara. We're going to start our infamous timer. We get ready for 7 minutes. And if you can just give us what inspired you to start this journey to follow the butterflies, besides the fact that they're just beautiful to watch, right?
Well, I love all animals. I have always been drawn, especially to animals that often go unnoticed. And while lots of people notice the monarch and think, wow, they're beautiful, they don't really step outside and take the time to think about how incredible the monarch is and how incredible their migration is. So it's this little tiny insect that flies from Mexico, and in the course of a few generations will make it all the way to Canada and then turn around and go all the way back. And that is mind-blowing. And so I am on a bicycle. I am on an adventure following the monarchs, but the real adventures are the monarchs, and they're coming to us. And so my inspiration was the monarch, and my inspiration was to get on a bike and see where they would lead me, and on the along the way be their voice. So the monarchs can't plant native plants. They can't call their Congress people. They can't do a lot to advocate for themselves, but that's where we come in. And so I hope that by having a fun adventure with the monarchs, I can invite more people into their adventure and to be part of their story and to be amazed by them, and at the same time return that gift that they're giving us of awe and beauty, and return that gift by helping them.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. So did you spend much time training or planning for this before you started this whole, I mean, that's a long ways, Mexico to Canada on a bicycle, no less.
My trip was 8.5 months. It was 10,201 miles. And most of the time I didn't have much of a plan. So because I was trying to be a voice for the monarch, I arranged presentations. I talked to about 9,000 people on my trip formally and in presentations, and then thousands more just that I would meet along the road. And so the presentations I'd need to plan a little bit. And the way that would work is I would start and I would have a general sense of where I was going. Like, I'm going north through Texas, and word would spread, and people would say, oh, I own a farm and we grow milkweed. You should come to me. Or, oh, I live here and have a garden. You should come visit. Or I have a school. And I'd look at my maps, and I'd look at the route, and I'd look at the time, and I'd look at the hills and the wind forecast, and I'd say, all right, I'm doing this. And so I really just took it day by day in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, I took it mile by mile. And so most of the time, I didn't know even where I was going to sleep that night. And your question was more about training, but I think I'm answering more about planning.
No, I think that's a lot. I mean,
yeah. For training, there's no training. You just get on the bike and you start slow. And the first few days, you gripe about how much your butt hurts and how tired you are, and you just slowly get in shape.
Yeah, I like that. You just did it. You didn't spend all the time on the bicycling training, the physicality of it, but you just put it out there. Like, I'm going to do this. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. So, oh, go ahead.
I've heard that about long distance things, whether it's a through hike or whatever. Just the first few weeks are your training. You don't need to train. So, because it's part of the process, right?
I mean, to train to bike 6 hours a day, you would need to have 6 hours a day. And most people don't have that. And 6 hours, in the same loop every day around your house would get old, or maybe not, but it would get old for me. So yeah, you just plan to go slower in the beginning and just tough it out.
Tough it out so you feel better. So it sounds like you were invited to go to some amazing places, and having not had it planned, were there some unexpected or special places that you want to share? Some places that you remember, they're memorable?
Well, so in my book, the last 7 pages are the acknowledgments, and I fought so hard for long acknowledgments. The publisher kept saying, you can't have a 7-page acknowledgement. Well, my acknowledgement started out at probably 20 pages. They're like, no, you can't have a 20-page acknowledgement. So we met in the middle. It's 7 pages because my trip is a solo trip. It was a solo trip on the bicycle, but I was with millions of monarchs, and I got the help from thousands of people. And I actually counted one day in my acknowledgement section. I list every person or every family I stayed with, and that was 68.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so 68 people invited me in. Often I'm thinking of a house, a couple houses. One was in Texas and one was in Canada, and both times they had never met me, but they were gone for a little bit. They were gone, but they told me where the key to their house was. I've never met these people. We have no connection. So I would go to their house, I would unlock their door. Often there was a note that was like, eat everything that you want, whatever you want, take a shower. And then I would just be in some stranger's house. And both times, or no, actually, just one of the times they didn't come home at all. They were gone on vacation the whole time. And the other time they came home a few days in. And so I got to meet them eventually.
That's just amazing that people open their homes to you. I mean, it's not 2021 activities. Like, people aren't doing that in the 2000 era, right? Like, this is something that would have happened years ago. I mean, I have uncles that rode the railroad, and they got off and stayed in families' homes and traveled through farms and did farm work in that way. So when you're talking about this, I'm thinking that, people did just open their homes in the past, but what a beautiful thing for you to have these people do this with you. Amazing.
Yeah, that is.
Part of it too is like, well, what is she going to steal? She's on a bike. That was none of it. But
no. That sounds beautiful, because I was going to ask about some of the people you met, and you answered that so beautifully. Because Cindy and I, both growing up in the Midwest, this made people would open their homes years ago, but in the 2020s, 2018s, the last 10 years or so, I find this just super amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess here's where I have to pause and be like, my experience biking as a white lady through, these places is so different. And so part of me, what I love about my book is I can share this experience, and I can share with people, like, this is an option. So if you see a tourist, come in, and also remember that like I'm just one of the tourists. I'm one of the people riding their bike. There's lots of people, and don't be scared of travelers. Because they're going to bring you amazing gifts. It's such a beautiful thing to go to someone's home, because I'm giving them stories and adventures, and they're giving me a place to stay and food. And it's such a beautiful moment of reciprocity.
Yeah, of that sharing. And that was our 7 minutes. I have like 7 more questions to ask, but we ran out of time, Sarah.
Well, we're going to have to pick up this book.
Yeah, for sure. Is your book out, Sarah?
My book's out. I've got a copy of it right here. It's
I can't wait.
Bicycling with Butterflies.
Sarah, I have a
butterflies.
travel book club. I'm inviting you to come talk to us. We're going to read your book this next 6 months. I don't know which date.
All right.
So, and then have you come join us. Oh, I'm so excited. So, all right. So I think that's our 7 minutes. April and I have a question and answer series. So if you have questions about travel, or anybody you want to suggest that we interview or other things, go ahead and put that in the link at the description below, and travel with us through real stories from real people. Thanks, Sarah.